Either one.
Okay. So here we go.
Okay, so tell me so right now he's deciding where his emphasis is. So he moved his design around to focus on one element over another.
Yeah, and so this creates kind of a tangent right here. That means your eyes kind of draw onto it. I'm kind of looking at the H becomes this focus. It's kind of, I'm not really wanting that. And so I'm kind of torn, like cutting it through here and how I'm going to do that. So I think I'm going to use this right here, kind of split that a little bit. Come up and around here. So I'm going to cut this out the best I can here, guys. You know, scissors are impossible, right?
So he is cutting this because he's going to put his design on top of his dried clay tile.
Leather hard clay tile.
Yes, leather hard clay tile, but the slip is dry.
Yeah.
You don't want to apply this onto
and it's not
wet
perfect.
slip.
It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, we're just going to get close. And still kind of lay it on here. So the next thing I'm going to do, and I'm only going to do a part of this so you guys kind of get the idea of it. I mean, it's a drawn out process. So we're gonna start talking about this key. And so here I am, ballpoint pen. So here I am.
He's pressing to.
I'm tracing it.
Pressing just enough to create that imprint.
Yeah, we're not wanting to
in the clay.
We're not wanting to gouge it.
Yeah, you're not ripping the paper.
Okay. And I'm rushing this. I mean, you guys could really take your time, make this look really neat.
The main thing is to get the general idea of your drawing.
Yeah.
You don't have to work on any of the shading, the value, the hatching, cross-hatching. You're just getting your main lines in. That makes it easier for you to see your design without having to draw on your tile as if it were paper, like freehand drawing.
Yeah.
Because any mistakes that you could make on your sgraffito tile, you can't just erase. You have to reapply the sgraffito slip.
Yeah. So we're working through this pretty good. And I'm laying out the bigger, I guess, areas.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get that.
The main composition, where your main leading lines. And remember, your design has emphasis. You have some form of balance, whether it's radial, symmetrical, or asymmetrical, and you have a sense of pattern that you're achieving. And the value that you create is whenever we remove some of the slip to show the color of the clay underneath, and we do this through hatching and cross hatching or removing all of the color of the slip.
And I did a quick sketch, and we were talking about sketching. Obviously you guys have worked way harder on your sketches than I did when I was sketching this out, so I'm trying to complete some of the sketch out. But really, I mean, once you see this, that's it. So it's now on this, and I'm pretty finished here, so I can lay this down. I can put this back in my sketchbook, and so
yes, definitely keep it.
Yeah, I like to tape these back in my sketchbook so I've known what I've worked through. You can always do a photocopy of this on a copy machine and use it again as a template in case you do a series, or you mess up. Heaven forbid you mess up, right? So now I'm thinking this is where students really get kind of lost. They go over to the drawer and they grab this guy right here and they just start scratching in, and this is literally what it looks like.
And we are not using
this tool. This is not
a utility knife.
This is not a sgraffito tool. This is very trashy, as in like the amount of debris that's left behind from the tool. Yeah. Let me show you the difference in cutting. So this tool right here, and you can use this side too. It does the same thing. I mean, you accomplish the same bad look that you get in this. And so look at this loop tool.
The sgraffito loop tool.
The loop tool is a wire here. You have a fat wire and a thin wire. One removes more material than the other. So let's say I go through this with the sgraffito, a quick line. This is the process. right? And I even have a hard time cleaning up what's left over from that tool, that utility knife.
Oh, and we can't blow the debris away
No, and so,
because of our masks.
so as you notice, I'm cleaning with my hand.
Mhm.
As I go through here, I'm gonna clean, and I build this up. And this is how I go through and lay this out. This is why my drawing doesn't have a lot of shading, because it's very much about the contour of the object, the edge of the object. Right? And so as I start, and then you can continue to turn this tile.
This is why it's also important that your clay is leather hard and not too soft and plastic,
We're-
because if you try to do this with clay that's still pretty wet, it's going to fall back on itself and it will be squishy and sticky and you won't be able to remove it as easily. You also don't want your clay to be bone dry, because you try to do this and it's going to be hard to remove the slip from the clay and you're more likely to break your tile. So it's important that your clay stays leather hard.
Okay.